I'm Ruari. I'm running the Edinburgh Men's 10K in support of Forces Children Scotland. My mum at the start of the year became a trustee, and I wanted to sort of support her and show interest in and appreciation for what she's doing for the charity and back her. My link to the Armed Forces would be I'm an officer cadet with Wales UOTC, which is a university training corps as a sort of reserve unit. Then my mum was briefly a reservist in the Royal Artillery back in the 90s. And then I've got a link to my grandparents. The war, I think most people probably have some sort of link there. It's going quite well. I had a Ironman 70.3 earlier in the year that I was sort of integrating the training for this in with. I've had some challenges with shin splints and overtraining, but through that I've learned a lot about S&C and prehab for avoiding those injuries in the future, and sort of bulletproofing joints and tendons and the strength you can get from there. Finishing the race in Murrayfield will be amazing. I've been a few times to watch games. I assume it finishes on the pitch. I don't actually know where within Murrayfield it finishes, but that will be a seriously cool finish line. Fundraising for that many kids in Scotland does feel amazing, and it adds a bit of gravity to the race for me. I'm not running it just for myself, I'm running it for a group of people that I can support. The motivation is great too, because I've raised money and it's going to help people, so I feel a greater motivation to finish and finish strong and do as well as I can. My top 3 tips for running a 10K would be for during the race, just keep going, because once you stop it's really hard to get going again. It doesn't matter what pace it is, just even if you have to drop down to quite almost walking pace, as long as you're still running, one foot in front of the other, it's fine and you keep going. I've found in previous races, nutrition is really important, so the days before, day of, and during the race, what you eat and drink has a big difference. So in my Ironman race in July, I completely messed up the nutrition. It came back to bite me, and just with cramp and other issues. And then my third advice would be prehab is really important. So when you're training, especially if it's a distance you're not used to and it's a big step up, that can put extra stress on your body that you're not used to, and putting an effort in to go and do S&C and strength training in combination with your running training will improve you a lot in how you perform, and it just prevents you from getting injured or sort of limits your injury potential. To support my fundraising, I've set up a Just Giving page, which you can find on Forces Children Scotland's website and social medias. The mental and physical preparation, there is an overlap, because it does take a certain mental strength to get through a 10K, and I'm trying to push a PB in this race, so that has added a bit of a mental, you have to ignore the pain that you're in and get through it, which overlaps to particularly AOSB. I'd imagine Sandhurst, well definitely Sandhurst as well, but at AOSB where you are mentally fatigued and you have to perform at your best to present yourself well. On the purely physical side, it is just really good fitness to get to that standard for the fitness tests and the physical tests that you face at AOSB. Within sea drills, the D for discipline would probably be one of the really important parts with the 10k race. Just having the discipline to get out and train and keep turning up when the weather's rubbish and it's cold and dark, and you just need to get that training run done. And even on the runs, having the discipline to stick to a pace for a planned session, not just going flat out until you can't go flat out and walking the rest. So there's discipline in that. I'm quite competitive, and if I'm out on a run and I see another runner, I want to almost race them. But having the discipline to stay at a planned pace is definitely a tough one, but needs to be there to have effective training. I think selfless commitment is relevant, and I've signed up for it. I've had injuries. I could have quite easily just backed out and said, this isn't for me. But pushing through that, and I'm not the important element of this, it's the children that are getting supported by Force Children Scotland that get the benefit from me doing this.